Before we land, Kikla addressed her attendants and pilots, I want to take some precautions. While we are on Homie, I will do the talking. And I mean all the talking. You are not to interact with any Vanayeri in any way, shape, or form. You will never talk to each other with your translator on, and even then you will make 100% sure no Vanayeri is in hearing distance. If you are ever in a situation where interaction is inevitable, you will only say the bare minimum of what is necessary and then end said interaction. Is that clear? The men bowed. Yes, milady. Good, because we can't risk one of you slipping up. If the Vanari were to learn about the dire situation of our homeworld, that we desperately need new trade agreements, and that almost all attempts to get them failed, they will hold all the cards. They could literally demand anything from me in the negotiation. I would have to comply with what would no doubt be the most one-sided agreement in history. And after that, we might as well declare ourselves Vanari slaves, because in the best case, we would have to dance in the palm of their hand for all eternity. Or the entire alliance learns of our desperation and we end up getting bled dry by everybody. She picked up a translator, put it around her neck, and stood up. So whenever you open your mouth, do not think of the execution that is going to await you if you mess up. Think about after that, when you will stand before the goddess, how you will explain to her that it was you who sealed the demise of her people. The Ceto landed and opened her gangway. Kalo walked right next to Kykla, with her 3 servants right behind them as they exited their ship and stepped onto the floor of the spaceport. The princess and her entourage were already waiting for them, her above-average height making her stick out among the rest of her kind. Most Vanari were slightly shorter than female Taistri, but Silvani was in fact taller than her. Next to the princess, the men who accompanied Kikla looked even shorter than they already were. The Taistri matriarch was not used to having to look up to her conversation partner, and she most certainly didn't enjoy it. Of course, she couldn't exactly demand from a royal to bow down to her, so she begrudgingly accepted the facts. My greetings, Lady Kykla. May the light of the goddess shine upon you. As it may upon you, she answered. By now, Kikla knew about the princess's diligence, so she was no longer surprised that she knew their traditional greeting, including the corresponding hand gestures, even if they looked a bit awkward with 4 hands. Likewise, it would be futile to expect her to offer a bed in that ridiculously huge palace of hers, or make a similar slip-up that she could claim to have taken insult from. We have prepared a cottage for you to stay in, as well as a shuttle to get around. Feel free to take your time to make yourself at home. Once you are ready, I will expect you for last meal at the Star Palace. We prepared a wide variety of food, including some canvietas I'm sure you will enjoy. She took a step back and was now standing behind the 2 maids flanking her. Females that were servants were another thing the matriarch would probably never get used to. These are Kayla and Sivara. They will attend to your need for the duration of your stay. Should you require more, just ask. Kykla's tail twitched slightly as she heard the name, Kayla. That was the one from the photograph. Well, wasn't that lucky? That is very gracious of you, Your Highness, Kykla thanked her with fake gratitude. But I do not plan to exploit your hospitality with a behavior so lavish that I would require that many servants on top of my own. She then addressed the maid on the left. Kyla was it, yes? Correct, milady. Can you fly a shuttle? I can, milady. Very well. She turned back to the princess. Then this one shall suffice. After the formalities were done, Kykla and her entourage entered the shuttle while Kayla manned the cockpit. She waited until they reached the accommodations, and while the other servants unloaded everything, she pulled Kayla to the side. Can I help you, milady? Oh, nothing important, Kykla assured her with fake casualness. I was simply curious about something I heard. Is it true that Vanayeri women only take one husband? I am sorry, milady. I do not know what that term means. Ah, right. You don't marry before the... Anyway, it's basically another word for a male partner. I see, then yes, we partner only once, she said without the slightest hint of curiosity about the fact that it was apparently unusual for the Taistri. Well, she was a professional after all. But Kykla didn't plan on letting the conversation end there. Fascinating. And here I thought I was modest with just 11 husbands. Finally, the maid's facade cracked. 11? She asked, confused. Yes, I am quite busy due to my position, so I'm keeping it low, although I'm thinking about looking for a 12th one, even if it is just to stop my neighbor from rubbing in my face that she has twice as many husbands as me despite being younger. Is it normal for your women to have 20 husbands? And with that, Kaikla had awoken her curiosity. Well, it depends on their age. When a matriarch leaves the juvenile age, she usually takes on her first husband and gradually increases the number as time goes by. Most stop at around 24 to 27. Doesn't that lead to awkward situations? Kikla shrugged. Well, I guess from your perspective, I would seem awkward that my eldest son is older than my youngest husband. But to us, that is normal. Female Taitri live almost twice as long as the males after all. But despite being barely an adult, my youngest husband is an eager one, and he has already given me a cute little son. Lady Kikla, if I may ask, how many children have you birthed? Only 37, Kikla answered nonchalantly and ignored the maid flinching at the number. But among them are 2 daughters, the older ones soon reaching adolescence. My family is truly blessed. Is that remarkable? Indeed. Usually one is considered lucky if there is 1 daughter among 50 sons, but I have 2, as if the goddess herself was watching over me. But enough about me. What about your family? How is it to partner only once? The maid's gaze fell. I am sorry, milady, but my partner died not long ago. Oh no, my deepest condolences. What happened to him? He was a member of Her Highness, Princess Silvani's guards. He fell when their ship was attacked a couple of days ago. I heard about it. Then I hope you can find peace in the knowledge that he died as a hero. I am sure Her Highness had good reasons to leave the secure routes. I mean, she wouldn't just risk her people's lives for nothing, right? I apologize for making you remember this. With this, the seed was planted. Pressing further would not help her for now. Kaikla went back to the others, leaving her soon-to-be ally alone in her grief.